I'm like 3 drinks in, by the way, so I'm feeling great.
Woo!
Welcome to Silver Screen Sips, a podcast where 3 idiots talk about movies. And today we have a couple different announcements. We'll start off by having a moment of silence for famed actor Leslie Jordan, an icon from Will and Grace, and a couple other films and shows that I can't name off the top of my head.
American Horror Story.
But yes, but I'm talking about classics because I know there was one that was
American
referenced.
Horror Story is a fucking
American
classic.
Horror Story is
Do
a
not
modern
disrespect it.
classic. I'm talking about like 9.
We're off to a great start.
But rest in peace, Leslie Jordan. Our heart is with your family.
Yes. Now.
Wait, I have more.
Oh, continue, Lewis.
My next thoughts to share with you. We have.
I don't care.
We have a couple warnings for the film. There are warnings for gore and extreme violence as before, but there is also a warning for depictions of suicide and attempted suicide. You have been warned, and of course, spoilers ahead.
Lewis, while I take a sip of my drink, why don't you tell us a little bit about our sponsor today?
Yeah. As you guys have been hearing for the last couple episodes, our episode today is brought to you by our sponsor, Shaker and Spoon.
Boop.
Shaker and Spoon is a monthly subscription service that gives you 3 bar quality cocktail recipes designed by award-winning mixologists. Each recipe is unique and exposes you to new flavors and combinations while demonstrating a range of what each spirit can do. We've been reviewing the Mescaloween 2 Agave's Revenge box, and unfortunately, we've reached the last recipe in this box for the season. However, if you'd like your own box of Shaker and Spoon, you can head over to shakerandspoon.com and use the promo code SIPS10, that's SIPS, the number 10, to get $10 off your first subscription order. Once again, use the promo code SIPS10, SIPS, number 10, to get $10 off your first subscription. And now we jump in to This Week in Hollywood. Brought to you today by... Oh my God. Brought to you today by Isaiah with the sports.
Sports.
This is technically sports.
I mean, it is technically sports.
All right. I'll go with that. The new film Black Adam, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, has hit the box office with a whopping 67 million opening weekend.
Wow.
And it's still climbing. It's still going. Thanks to both Black Adam and another film, Tickets to Paradise. What's her name? Starring George Clooney and...
The other bitch. What's her name? I don't even know. The only person that matters is George Clooney, okay?
That's fair. It is...
It's Julia Roberts. It's Julia Roberts.
Damn. Okay. So
okay, I lied.
George Clooney.
She matters. She's...
Oh my God. Anyway, okay. Thanks to both Black Adam and another film, Tickets to Paradise, starring George Clooney and Julia Roberts, the domestic box office has finally come back alive after a tough fall over the last couple of weeks. Meanwhile, Halloween Ends sees an 80% drop-off in the domestic box office in only its second week.
Because it sucks.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Foreshadowing.
Anyway, on to Beth.
Speaking of Halloween, The Conjuring 4 has officially been announced to be in the works. The team is back together with David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, that's a long name, writing the script, and James Wan, classic, and Peter Safran, hope I said it right, producing it. As a huge fan of the Conjuring series, I'm very excited to see what they come up with, and I hope they can resurrect themselves after the tragedy that was Conjuring 3.
Spoiler alert for a future episode.
Mm-hmm.
In breaking news, a new Star Wars movie is now in development at Lucasfilm. It is currently being directed by Damon Lindelof and one of the directors of Ms. Marvel, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. I hope I pronounced that right. If the project moves along quickly, Lindelof and Obaid-Chinoy's Star Wars film could be the film that takes the December 2025 release date that Disney has already reserved for an untitled Star Wars film. I did not know about this, and I would love to find out more.
Please don't be as bad as Solo.
Solo was a good movie. Isaiah with pop culture.
Yes. Real quick, how do you pronounce that? Is it
Spoiler
fully
Joker.
Folie à deux.
Shut up.
I think it's folie à deux because that's
Folie à
French.
deux. I feel like
Folie
it's-
à deux.
keep that all in, by the way.
Mhm.
So the sequel, Joker, Folie à deux, begins filming in LA next month. The film stars Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Interesting
Hell
choice.
yeah.
I can't wait to see it. It should be very interesting. I do expect a musical number at some point. And Joaquin Phoenix reprising his role as the Joker. And is set to be a musical with a theatrical release. Currently scheduled for October 4th, 2024. All right, I guess I got my wish. It's a musical. Todd Phillips will be returning to direct the sequel from the script he wrote with Scott Silver, with the first film being a massive success, bringing in a total box office of $1.74 billion. That is billion with a B, making it the highest grossing rated R film of all time. Damn! I can't wait to see the sequel. This should be very interesting.
You know, I had a beef. I shouldn't say I had beef, not like I know her personally, but I was very iffy about Lady Gaga as an actress. And then once I saw A Star is Born, I was like, okay, that's not the meat dress lady I know.
That girl's got talent.
That girl's got talent. Exactly. But anyways, now to get into more of the gossip side of Hollywood, Kanye West, or Ye, as he prefers to be called now, is claiming that Quentin Tarantino, along with Jamie Foxx, stole his idea for Django Unchained. Yeah, you heard that. You heard that right. The artist states that he spoke with Tarantino about his concept for his Gold Digger music video back in 2005, and then Quarantino. Wow, I just fucking Quarantino. Oh, yes.
That's your new nickname.
And then, yes, thank you. And then Tarantino made it into a film. As bold of a claim as it was, neither Tarantino or Jamie Foxx have responded publicly to Kanye's claims.
Kanye realized that Django Unchained is based off a movie from the 50s called Django.
Also, I don't know if you guys heard, but he just recently also got removed from Adidas. So they're no longer selling Yeezys, guys.
Yes, no more Yeezys.
No more Yeezys for Yeezys. Sorry. That was terrible.
And lastly, starting next year, Netflix will start charging fees when you share your account password with someone else. Fuck you, Netflix. The company has not stated the price of these fees. However, it's speculated it might be somewhere around $3.50 to $4 per sub account.
Boo. That is very unbased, as the kids say.
Very unbased. Wow, I never thought I would hear you say that. But
I know. I don't think people will be too happy about that one.
No.
I mean, all we need is a VPN, and we don't have an IP address. But anyway.
That is true.
Speaking of which, this episode is brought to you by
Shut up.
And that concludes this week in Hollywood. You can find all the sources cited on our Discord in the news article channel. Lewis, what do we got today on the menu?
Since we want to get you sauced up just like Beth is, I actually have two different drinks for you. First, we have our sponsor's drink called the Dream Phone. Beth can attest that it is probably the best drink she's had so far. So, for many people, Halloween is a holiday wrapped up in nostalgia, elaborate costumes, treacherous trick-or-treating tours, try to say that 5 times fast, and late-night candy binges. Mad scientist Chris Elford's memory road in this regard leads back to the 90s, and he's engineered this drinkable portal to zap us back to the decade when the most popular fruit was a radical blue raspberry, and juice was sipped from a box through a clear straw, revealing blinding neon shades of green, orange, or purple. Speaking to blue raspberry, favorite flavor of Bang? Hell yeah, brother. Just give his laboratory a ring and immediately enter a time warp to sample this potion, which takes only one super ingredient to bring mezcal to life in powerfully sweet and sour ways. That little clink you just heard is Beth having her Dream Phone.
I just finished it.
She just finished it. So our ingredients are going to be very, very simple. We have 2 ounces of your mezcal Joven, 1 ounce of acidified super purple. For garnish, you have 1 slice of pink grapefruit jelly fruit. That sounds incredibly sweet, but also tangy and delicious at the same time. So for your instructions, you're going to add your mezcal and acidified super purple to a shaker, fill the shaker with ice cubes, and shake very vigorously until it is ice cold and shows frost on the outside of the shaker. This usually takes about 10 to 15 seconds of shaking. Drain your shaker's contents into a double rocks glass over a large ice cube. You know, your typical whiskey ice cube. There's nothing like a classic citrus garnish. In keeping with the 90s fever, for the finishing touch, place your pink grapefruit jelly fruit slice either on the rim of the glass or onto your large cube. Beth, please take it away with your description of how good this drink is.
Let me tell you. So, first off, this is definitely my favorite out of the 3 recipes that were in the box. I have had 3 of these. That is how good they are. And I'm considering getting another one to finish it off because you get 4 servings with each recipe. I'm gonna hold off on that until I eat. So,
Atta girl.
Yeah, I'm responsible. So we have I gave it a 5 out of 5. It is so fucking good. And Isaiah, I'm gonna answer for you. You will love this drink. Lewis, I'm gonna answer for you. You would love this drink. If you like grapefruit, of course, because it's very grape and grapefruit like heavy or front, and that's personally my favorite flavor for anything is like grape. It's not super duper. It's like it is so smooth that I was able to I downed it the first time. It was like grape juice practically, but not super sweet where it makes me want to puke. You know what I mean? It's super easy to make. Like Lewis said, it's literally like 3 ingredients. And one of those is just a garnish. So really it's like 2 ingredients. And so in that sense, it makes it super quick to make. It took me like 2 seconds compared to like the other 2 were a little more intricate. I wouldn't say they were difficult, but they were more intricate in the sense of ingredients and like the process. The grapefruit gummy is not as sweet as you would think it would be. It tastes very much like grapefruit and it's like got that tangy afterbite or aftertaste. And honestly is my favorite part of the drink, not just because I love candy, but because it just like ties it all together.
He's a child.
And yes. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about it. If you're going to make this drink, I recommend putting the jelly grapefruit in the drink instead of on the rim because you can do either one. I tried both and the in the glass is way better because like the sugar kind of comes off the grapefruit and into the drink.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, so good. 5 out of 5.
Damn.
Beth, you sold me. I'll stick with your saying that I'm gonna love it.
So you also rated it 5 out of 5?
Yes.
Wow. Amazing. Isaiah, what about you?
5 out of 5.
We're answering for you.
The answer has been told for me. All right.
All right. Well.
So wait, is it just going to be 5?
This is going to be 5.
Is it that easy?
What, to convince? I mean, you're very convincing.
Yeah.
Also, what do you call it? It's a fruit. What do you call it? I like fruity drinks, and this is a very, very fruity drink. So
it is very good.
I don't recommend this for most other people who haven't had mezcal. All that sugar and alcohol tends to make you sick sometimes at night.
Oh, well, why didn't you tell me that before I had like 4 of them?
But moving on to our second drink that I'm going to run through real quick. I found the description on the Spruce Eats, one of the another food and drink blog. And this is called the Corpse Reviver number 2. The story of the Corpse Reviver is that of a drink to be taken before 11 a.m. or whenever steam and energy are needed, according to Harry Craddock in the Savoy Cocktail Book from 1930.
You said a.m.?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay.
So the original Corpse Reviver actually goes beyond just being one drink and instead was an entire class of pre-prohibition drinks. These were, quite appropriately, meant to raise the dead, or in reality, someone who was hungover and stumbled into the bar early in the morning, because back then, it wasn't a bad thing to be drinking before 11.
Have a clock somewhere.
Exactly. The Corpse Reviver number 2 is a popular classic cocktail and arguably the best tasting of all the Corpse Reviver drinks. It is a great gin cocktail and a testament to the mixability of its botanical field spirit. Traditionally, it would have used Quina Lillet, though Lillet Blanc and Cocchi Americano are commonly used today. In a pinch, dry vermouth will do just fine. For the orange liqueur, Choose a top shelf brand such as Cointreau, and be sure to use fresh lemon juice for this fascinating sour drink. Your ingredients are going to be 1 dash of absinthe. Normally, what they do for the absinthe, you actually just rinse the glass and you toss out the excess absinthe. So it's only like a little dash at the bottom. Well, you have your 1 ounce of gin, your 1 ounce of Lillet Blanc, Cocchi Americano, or dry vermouth into the shaker, 1 ounce of Cointreau or other premium orange liqueurs, 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Shake that in your cocktail shaker with ice. Drain that into your absinthe rinsed martini glass. And finally, garnish it with an orange peel. For the sake of knowing what it is, Cocchi Americano is a white aperitif wine with a quinine taste. I don't know what quinine is off the top of my head, but this seems like a very interesting choice to have as a hair of the dog cocktail to come over a hangover. I'm going to throw in that the gin in some cases will be in one recipe I saw that was charcoal infused gin, and that was recommended at Tallulah's in Asbury Park, New Jersey. In either case, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. What do you guys think so far of this interesting hair of the dog martini?
Beth?
I don't know. I feel like it sounds nice, but I think it sounds a little too much for me. So I think it would be like a 2.5 to maybe a 3. I'll give it a 3. Because like, yes, it has gin in it, and I've so far I've been a fan of gin, but it just sounds like it's going to be a little too white mom for me, and I'm not there yet. So that's my best rating I can give.
Isaiah?
I think it depends on which of that middle liquor used. Or because if you use dry vermouth, it's immediately a 1 for me because I can't stand vermouth.
But if you use Lillet Blanc or Cocchi Americano?
I feel like maybe it'd be like a 3.5 because those are better. But if it's used, if someone gives it to me with vermouth, immediate 1 because that I can't stand it.
What can you stand?
Fruity things.
I like Bacardi, bro. I'm a good fan of good old spiced rum.
You're crazy.
Martinis are an acquired taste. I personally believe that. But all right, so we are in agreement that our dream phone gets a 5 across the board.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And our hair of the dog Corpse Survivor number 2, which I used to loosely base on Michael Myers, who keeps coming back from the fucking dead. I will say that it's about a 3 on average.
Straight mid.
Listen, if the other 2 drinks didn't sound appetizing to you and coax you to get shaker and spoon, please, I am telling you, this drink, the Dream Phone, makes it all worth the while. Yeah, I highly recommend it. It is. And honestly, it's making me like tequila. So that's saying a lot.
If Shaker and Spoon has completely 180'd her on her choices of tequila.
Shaker and Spoon, you have changed me as a person.
Congratulations.
So
now that we're all drunk with Beth, just talking about cocktails, we're going to talk about Beth's wonderful question of the day.
I do have I have more than one question, actually. I have questions.
Wow.
As you all know, this is the last episode of the season before our listeners' episode. So as always, it's time for some trivia. That's when you guys are supposed to be like, oh my goodness, and be like all excited.
Oh my God.
I would be excited if the movie was any good.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trivia Night.
Bing bong.
On our left here is our lovely contestant, Lewis. How are you doing tonight, Lewis?
I'm wonderful. I'm Big Lou.
Sorry, Big Lou. Do you mind if I call you Big Lou?
No, I don't at all.
Great. Okay, so on our left, we have Big Lou. Big Lou, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm your local alcoholic, and I like to talk a lot of shit about a lot of things and people.
Yeah, you do. Okay, enough of that. On your right here, we have Isaiah. Isaiah, say hello to the crowd.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Now, Isaiah, why don't you tell us something interesting about yourself, if there is anything?
Wow. All right. I have a list of every single movie I've ever seen in my entire life. How about that?
Okay, so that's okay. Now, let the games begin. So as always, we have our contestants who have their own sounds. So Lewis, give me your sound, please. Isaiah, your sound.
Evil dies tonight.
Okay, make your death noises. Is that really your death noise?
Looks like I'm dying.
Oh, look at that. I've been impaled.
It's only a flesh wound.
Okay, what are your death noises? Let me hear it. That'll be your buzzers. Right now, someone stabs you. Go.
God damn it, stabbed.
All right, enough of that. First question, gentlemen. Of course, wait until the question has been completed before you buzz in your answers. Okay, first question. What was the original title of the Halloween movie?
God damn it, stabbed.
Do you already have an answer?
I do already
What
have an
is
answer. It's the Babysitter Murders.
Wow. Ding, ding, ding. 1 point for Isaiah. Yes, the events of the original script titled The Babysitter Murders took place over several days. And then the script was changed to have everything happen on the same day to reduce the number of locations and costume changes and keep the film under budget. So it was decided that Halloween was the scariest night of the year. So it was the perfect night and title for the film.
Nice.
Question 2. Dun dun. By the year 2018, how many Halloween movies had been made?
It's only a flesh wound.
Oh,
Sorry. There's multiple choice. Never mind. Go ahead.
yes. Was it A, 15, B, 6, C, 9, or D, 11?
It's only a flesh wound.
Lewis.
D, 11.
Ding, ding, ding. Correct. Wow. We have 1 for 1. Ladies and gentlemen, it is neck and neck. This is crazy. Now, it is 1-1. It is neck and neck between Lewis and Isaiah. Here we go. Question 3, the final question. How long did it take John Carpenter and Deborah Hill to write the screenplay for the original Halloween? You have your answers? Here are your answers. Options. Was it A, 10 months, B, 10 weeks, C, 10 days, or D, 10 hours?
Evil dies tonight.
Isaiah.
I think it was 10 days.
So C is your final answer?
Yes, he's my answer.
Isaiah.
Yeah?
I am sorry. But that is the answer. Isaiah wins.
Hey, thank you guys. Woo!
Congratulations.
Yes, it took Carpenter and Hill approximately 10 days to write the script. Isaiah, what are you going to do with your grand prize from the game?
You mean my 30 cents? Yeah, I'm gonna go. It's going to my college fund. To pay off that student debt, you know?
Hell yeah, I understand. Well, thank you everyone for joining me for trivia night. We'll see you in the next one.
Boy. No, it's the end of episode.
Yeah, that's it. All right, Isaiah, what you got for us today, my guy?
My guy.
Buddy old pal.
All right, so yeah, I couldn't really find any facts about this movie. It was kind of weird. So we're gonna go through a few weird things, like a few little things I found.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's go through this. So screen testing. They screen tested the movie to audiences before the release, which a lot of big studios will do. They'll give like special. They'll have a bunch of people like look on upon the movie, be like, "Oh yeah, what do you call it? This could be. What do you want improved? What do you think could be taken out? What could be added to improve the movie before they do an official release?" And then all those people signed NDAs and crap like that. So they did a few screen tests for the Halloween Ends, and when talking about the original ending that Green had, that David Gordon Green, the director, had in his mind, he explained that Haddonfield witnessing Laurie, spoiler, grind Michael up was added after the screenings because of earlier versions of the movie that wasn't there. They were so he told Entertainment Weekly, we were trying to do a little bit more of a modest, intimate ending for Halloween Kills. Sorry. We were trying to do a little bit more of a modest, intimate ending. Halloween Kills was big and expensive and super noisy and aggressive and almost like an action movie at points. And I, being David Gordon Green, wanted this to return to the simple, dramatic roots. But then there were times when I thought it just didn't play big enough and I wanted some scope to it. We wanted something more grand, and that became the procession scene that is shown in the movie at the end. So the
Were you
actual
strapped
ending,
to the roof?
Yeah. So the actual ending of the movie we came up with this summer, like 2 months before the movie was supposed to come out, after we screened it a few times. So that's David Gordon Green on him changing the ending of the movie after screen testing. So I guess the screen tests were that they didn't like the ending and they didn't want it to be intimate or like a small thing, and that's how we ended up with the ending that we got in the movie. Sort of. They knew where they were going with it, but they weren't. They wanted to be. I guess the screen test said they wanted to be more grand. So
I mean, they fucking got there, so
I guess. So I think from this, what they did was instead of having him just get thrown to the grinder and only Lori and what's her name, Alyssa? Allison, yeah, all right. Allison and Lori just kind of being just the two of them kind of witnessing the grinding thing. They added the whole like section of the procession and people, the whole town coming to see it. So I guess that's what they're making it grander is what they meant by that.
What's the name of the town again, Isaiah?
Haddonville.
There you go.
So that's what David Gordon Green was talking about when he said that the ending changed for the screen test. As you know, the movie we call it, especially with an 80% drop in the box office, it's not doing too well. It got some bad reviews. It's getting a lot of bad feedback from a lot of people. A lot of the fans are not happy. However, it has been decisive. Like a lot of people, there are a few people that a lot of people actually like the ending. They thought it was a good ending for Michael Myers and for all this stuff. One said person actually is master of horror Stephen King.
Oh my, Stephen. Stevie, what are we doing?
Stevie boy. So Stephen King, after watching the movie, put out his stamp of approval in a tweet stating, "I enjoyed Halloween Ends. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it's gasp surprisingly character driven."
Oh, Stephen.
Now he's not wrong.
Hold on,
right?
Isaiah. Before you go first, before I go on, you heard it here first, folks. Stephen King is cringe.
Yeah, with asterisk and everything. I bet. Gasp.
Yes.
I mean, I understand what he's trying to get from this. Like, yeah, this movie is more character driven, and we'll get into my opinions about that later on about this movie. But I feel like the character driven parts are on the wrong characters. Mm-hmm. I'll elaborate more when we get into the review stuff. But yeah, so Stephen King liked the movie. I don't know why, but he did. I think maybe it's just because it's different than the rest of the stuff. And yeah, it's different. That doesn't make it's good.
True.
Anyway, now there's a lot of feedback, a lot of negative feedback, basically. And David Gordon Green responded by saying, "It's funny when someone says build your dream house on the real estate using this title and these characters. Everybody is going to find different little things that's meaningful for them, and they'll make it their own. That's what I did. For every bit of backlash, you also get people that are thanking you for taking it to a new place and keeping it live and full of love." That's his response to the negative feedback, which I don't know. You can
do with that what you will.
Yeah, do with that what you will. You can form your own opinions based off what he just responded with. Now, weirdly enough, John Carpenter was actually on board with the direction this was going.
I'm not surprised by that.
And then David Gordon Green goes on to say that he was cool with it. He's like any skeptic. What are you going to do? Write the same thing over and over. When he wrote Halloween 2, he was like, "Oh, we didn't know we were going to go here." As in they didn't know they were making a sequel. That's where Season of the Witch comes from. It's him saying, no, guys, we're not going to just make Michael Myers and Laurie Strode movies all the time. We're going to mix it up, do a little anthology. Now, if you're confused by that statement, backstory is, if you watch the entirety of the Halloween franchise, the third movie has nothing to do with Laurie Strode or Michael Myers. It's actually about witches and it's about a bunch of witches trying to like sacrifice an entire school worth of children for a curse. So it has nothing to do with anything, which it was received. So it received very negative reviews because they're like, well, where's Michael Myers?
Yeah, what was the whole point of it without Michael Myers?
Because they wanted to do other stories. And so that's why everybody was like, what the hell? Now, do with that what you will. Sure, I do agree. John Carpenter's like, yeah, what do you call it? What are you going to do? Just write Laurie versus Michael Myers all the time? That makes sense. However, if you have an entire trilogy based around Laurie versus Michael, you can't choose the last movie where it's all supposed to end and it's supposed to be the final showdown as the movie to do your little anthology. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
This is a fair statement.
So just putting that out there. Now, the negative feedback keeps on going because there's actually the people were so pissed. The fans were so mad that a petition, we're going back to another petition, was started to reshoot the whole movie
That's like Star Wars.
Yeah, people are freaking pissed. So the original goal of the change.org petition to change the movie was 5,000 signatures. If you check the web as of recording right now, it's actually going up right now as I speak. It actually just went up. It just went up 100 signatures as I spoke and started this. It is now at 13,800.
Jesus.
So yeah, a lot of people really want this movie changed. All right, it just went up by 10. Okay, so it keeps on going.
Yeah, one of those was me.
So I'll read what they said. So over 13,000 people at this current moment have signed the change.org petition, urging Universal to reshoot the entirety of Halloween Ends, surpassing its goal of 5,000 signatures. The reasoning, as posted in the change.org petition, Halloween Ends was not a film that the fans wanted. This was an origin story, the Corey story. We deserve a movie worthy of Michael Myers and the Halloween franchise. We love this franchise wholeheartedly. In this version of a Halloween movie left us sad, mad, disappointed, and infuriated. Please give us a movie that shows us what Halloween is really about. Our apex predator, the king of slasher, movie Michael Myers. This movie gave us a weak, pathetic Michael who needed his mask to survive. This isn't our Michael Myers. Our killer is strong, relentless, and unstoppable. Please right this wrong. We beg of you. Now, I think it's a bit much. Like, sure, what do you call it? The movie was bad, and it could have been a better version of it.
I think that's an understatement.
Yeah, is Universal going to go back and reshoot it because 13,000 people said, "Hey, go do that"? No, they're not going to do that. That's a big waste of money. They're never going to do that.
Oh yeah.
They'll just reboot it in 5 years and say, "Hey guys, this is the movie you wanted," because Halloween is never going to die. All right, Michael Myers is never going to die.
I don't know, being shoved into a trash compactor or whatever the fuck.
Oh no, what do you call it? They'll just do what they did before, because there's actually 3 different timelines going. Actually, there's 4 different timelines going on in the Halloween universe out of all 15 movies. But those are all the facts that we have for today. Take that as you will with all the things that we discussed. Now on to the film review.
I'm going to try and keep it short because I'm going to start off with the one thing I think was worth seeing in this entire film.
Okay.
The fight between Laurie and Michael, out of all the films that we've seen, was the best one thus far. As far as like her surviving and, actually managing to beat Michael rather than like stabbing him in the eye with a fucking hanger.
I will have to disagree with you on that.
Or, no, okay, sorry. No, I'll put it second because Halloween Kills did have a really good like fight around the house between the whole family. But
yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Okay, yeah. No, I'll put it as a second. Well, like this is my best one-on-one personally, because I know that the one in Halloween Kills is like that technically it's involved with Allison and her mother.
Karen.
That was the one thing that actually like it let me sort of not give this a straight up 0. The rest of the movie, I will praise. I think his name is Rowan Campbell. I will give him praise for playing the character of Corey and playing the character of some traumatized, sadistic fucker who kind of, awakens his like sadistic side in his 20s.
As we all do.
Yeah. But I want to shout out the fact that I saw this in an article. I felt it myself for a second, looking at him smile in one of those scenes. I thought it was fucking Willem Dafoe. And I was like, is he related to Willem Dafoe? And I remember an article said he had a little bit of Joaquin Phoenix energy, a little bit of Willem Dafoe energy.
Those are big compliments.
Yeah, those are big compliments to the actor himself, to what he was trying to do. The story, everything else that happened in the movie, their little fucking twisted like love red flags bullshit, garbage tropes, garbage execution. I also want to shit on the fact that 4 of Corey's killings weren't actually really shown, or like the death of his stepfather was completely an accident. So,
I see. Okay.
Because he wasn't even like, he was actually supportive of him.
I know.
Yeah.
That was that was so messed up.
Yeah, he like, I want to help you. He's like, no, wait, don't shoot. And then he gets shot in the fucking right between the eyes. They don't even show him killing his mom. They just show him raising the knife.
Which out of everyone was the one I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Exactly. They don't show him beating that one girl to death over the head with the wrench. He just raises his hand. They barely show the dude getting his face burned off, and they don't show the dude with the drumstick getting the drumstick shoved into his eye.
How dare they?
Like I'm shitting on like the fact that like the after effect, like, oh yes, it's very gory, but like where was the difference in like what we watched Michael do in Halloween Kills?
It was like it's like a tonal shift. It's weird.
It's a very unnecessary tonal shift. And yeah, overall, I hated pretty much the other hour and 40 minutes of this movie. I think the scene where Laurie and Michael fight in the kitchen and then Allison comes in and save her, and even the procession to the trash compactor at the end, I enjoyed that. Other than that, everything else in this movie was garbage. I'm going to rate it a 0.5 out of 5.
Wow.
I really hated this movie. Like I hated the happening, but I hated this.
You hear that, folks?
Damn, that's wild. So when the movie started, right, the opening intro was very interesting. Like I was like, oh crap, all right, we're heading in an insane direction. I wonder what the hell this is all got to do. To be honest, I was kind of like prepared for all the jump scares in these movies, so I wasn't really like scared or anything like that. But that one really got me. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting the kid to fall from the freaking like third story and just splat on the floor. I was not expecting that at all. So I full on paused the movie and literally audibly and yelled in my house, "Oh shit!" I had very high expectations, and then after that, it just shot downhill.
Yeah, it was skiing down a fucking ramp.
Yeah, because it just turned into the most predictable things ever. Like every scene had things where like, oh, well, obviously that, what do you call it, Corey? He's gonna be the main kid's gonna become Michael Myers. It's gonna turn into like that protege. Oh, I'm gonna teach you how to kill story, and that's what it did. And I can tell you, it was exactly like halfway through the movie. It was like 42 minutes into the movie. There's that shot of him standing behind the bush like Michael Myers did in the first movie, and I was like, all right, so I already know where the hell this plot's gonna happen. What do I need to watch this movie for?
Yup.
Now we'll get to the later part where it did do a little twist, but for like 90% of the movie, I kind of just knew where everything was headed, and there was no point and all that.
You know, I've had that question for the last 3, honestly. I feel like every horror movie is like that. I feel like every horror movie is just annoying characters.
See, but I feel like there's the annoying characters that you want to watch them die.
Yeah.
And then there's just straight up just annoying.
Where it's like, there's no way a human like this exists.
Because like there's a few characters like the mom, right? Oh, like, yeah, no, I can't wait for her to die. I know she's gonna die. I know they're telling me she's gonna die, and that we're gonna enjoy that. And then they
strip you of the entertainment that you would have received watching her die.
Yeah, like there's no comeuppance. You don't get to witness anything. They're all annoying. Grandma J. Lee Curtis, though, that was fun. I do like her moving on and her like trying to be like, oh, I'm just being a grandma now. I make cookies, go to bake sales, kind of stuff. That mode, I enjoyed that part. I thought it was fun. She was just, trying to live life.
Yeah.
I wanted to piggyback off something you said earlier because I forgot until now. Corey learning from Michael, but never actually truly learning anything from Michael. He's like, show me how you do it, and he kills the cop, and that was it. Suddenly, Corey knew how to fucking like appear around the bush and then disappear in seconds, and just never be like, like had all of Michael's movements and personality and all that shit with no sort of instruction, no sort of magical power given to him. Nothing. It was literally just, no, I'm Michael now.
I am the Michael now.
Now, one of the notes I wrote was Corey, he tells Allison about how he killed somebody, and then they immediately go, now let's hold. Now they're like, oh, now we're holding hands and like breaking into our house. I'm like, what is this?
I hated that entire fucking story plot, like the whole subplot of just like, oh, Romeo and Juliet kind of bullshit. That stuff pissed me off. I was like, I don't care about either of you.
I saw some meme make fun of it being like, like when you see he has red flags and you become even more obsessed or something like that.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, I don't need a very innovative and crazy, intricate plot. It's a horror movie, okay? However, I prefer the plot to have something that doesn't keep me bored most of the movie. What I will say, though, was the moment that Corey's mom kissed him on the lips, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I was not. Because I was like, oh, it's like a mom that hates her child. And then she did that. And I was like, oh, completely different dynamic than I was expecting.
I had to rewatch that scene because I wasn't sure if it was a fucking accident at first.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, that was intentional.
Mm-hmm. That was a weird one.
Bates Motel.
Oh, no.
Like 90% of this movie, right, is based around Allison and Corey's relationship, quote unquote, if you want to call it that. because
Yes.
all he does is do some like really weird and creepy things that obviously major red flags, and she's just like, oh my god, but he's so cute. Like, you know what?
Oh
Let's
my
do
god,
that.
but trauma bonding.
But
Yeah,
it's
trauma bonding.
quirky.
But it's quirky. Like, he's an outcast, so am I. Oh my god, and it's so, it's so annoying. And then the whole point, and then like towards the end, right? You know, where he gets to be Michael Myers and he starts going on his little killing spree. The reason they did all that was because he was going to kill himself and make Allison hate Laurie for 2 minutes of screen time. It wasn't even 2 minutes. It was literally, we call it, that scene was only about 30 seconds of him being like, I'm going to kill myself and she'll hate you forever. And then he stabbed himself and then he dies. And then, you know, Laurie is staring at him. He's, oh no, oh my god.
And then he wasn't even dead when Michael came back for the mask.
Yeah, and then the craziness of, and then at the end of the movie, I don't hate you. I know, Corey, you were right the whole time. Corey did it. I was like, okay, so you're telling me you spent 90% of this movie developing this relationship for a payoff that is not even 30 seconds of just, I hate you. I'm going to leave the house now. That's it? That was the 90%. You wasted all my time just to do that? What was the point? So, you know, that just pissed me off. It was just no. The note I wrote was that the entire time it felt very cringy that they were trying to make Corey a person with bravado that was standing up for himself or something like
Mm-hmm.
it felt like a knockoff Joe from You.
It really did.
They watched like one episode of You and said, that's my entire character right there.
That is so fucking accurate. Oh my god.
Now, the ending, Lou, you said you liked the ending of, you know, them hog tying his body to like the roof of a Prius.
No, I didn't say I liked it. I accepted that as like a plausible ending after that fight.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Just the fact that like all the cops just started telling the entire town, and the entire town decided, hey, we're all gonna go watch this body get thrown into an industrial shredder. The note I wrote was, they hog-tied him like a deer to the roof of a Prius. The whole town came by to watch like a 1900s execution and then threw him into an industrial shredder.
Yep.
So my thoughts are overall boring. It's bad. They're not good send-offs for any of these characters. Michael Myers was barely in the movie. He was in there for like maybe 5 minutes of total screen time, which was kind of.
I want to amend that I didn't even say I liked it. I just said that ending was like plausible, but I want more. So it's like, I was just happy it was over. That was my sign that the movie was done, and I would have to stop watching garbage.
Fair.
Yeah, after that industrial setter part, I was like, I'm done. This is over. Thank God it's over. Because 90% of the movie was boring and made no sense. It focused on anything. Now, going back to what David Gordon Green said, that he wanted to focus on a new character to do like the anthology. But even with that thought process, Corey's dead. There's no more anthology. It ends there. Like, it doesn't. You can't have, there's gonna be an anthology, like there's not like a legend or whatever. You can't have that because he killed himself. He's dead. Everybody's dead. This is the end of the road. There is no more. How can you have an anthology? There's no more.
Corey comes back like Michael used to, even after having his neck snapped or stabbed.
It's a 1 out of 5. It's literally a 1 out of 5. I can't.
I have to add one more thing. You're gonna tell me that Corey, the little fucking weirdo, fought and pushed Michael to the ground and took his mask after it took an entire town of people, after it took a group of 8 people to even put him on the floor, and he still came and killed every single one of them. And you're going to tell me that Michael just lost a little scuffle like that? No. I don't care how weak he looked. I don't care how old and like decrepit he was. No.
Maybe the marketing. I'm going to go with the marketing is kind of one of the reasons why the movie fell flat. Also, the fan base. The fan base came to see a Michael Myers movie. That's what Halloween is. It's a Michael Myers movie. You can't have a Halloween movie without Michael Myers, because you did that with Halloween 3 and it didn't work. Yeah, because there's a lot of references in this movie to Halloween 3, which is, the anthology one, the one that doesn't have Michael Myers in it. So they obviously wanted to make a movie that wasn't centered on Michael Myers. But it's proven in the past that it didn't work. And you're doing the whole, this is the end of the Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers, timeline. You can't have the final movie not be about the characters that you've spent 3 movies doing. Like, you can't. It just kind of throws it away. It's like, what's the point? Also, you can the marketing of the movie is, this is the final fight between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, right? And that only happens in the last 5 minutes of the movie.
And even then, it's not like an extended fight.
Well, for one thing, I've never had a film where I've had more cons than pros. I have one pro, and that was that the end credit song was good. That was it.
Damn.
That's the only pro I have written down.
What even is the ending song? I gotta look this up now.
Don't Fear the Reaper
By Blue Oyster
Blue
Cult.
Oyster Cult, which is a great song.
I think the second the credits started rolling, I exited out of the movie, so I didn't even hear it.
It was good because it was a nice little tie-in with the first film because that was playing over the radio in the original Halloween. But anyways, yeah, that was the only good thing I had about this film. I also rated it a 1 out of 5. Again, Blumhouse Productions. We touched on this in the previous episode. I have a personal love-hate relationship with that production company, and it's really hit or miss with mainly misses, and this was one of them.
I would like to put it as, Beth, you hate them and they love to disappoint you.
Yes, that is a great way to put it, Lewis. I think my biggest issue with the film was that there was a lack of build-up throughout the whole film. I wrote it down in the beginning that there was a lack of build-up, but then it kept happening with a lot of like the horror-y jump scare aspects where it was like, okay, kind of like touching on what Isaiah said, where it's like, okay, this is so cliche and so predictable. I'm not even like that wow factor or that shock or scare factor is just gone because it's like, okay, I've seen this 1,000 times. So there's really just no build up to any of the horror or the intensity or anything like that. I think I mentioned earlier, I did not care or give two fucking shits about this love story plot between Allison and Corey. It just felt really not only forced, but just weird.
Yeah.
There was no chemistry between the two of them. I feel like she should be smarter.
Yes.
I was kind of surprised that she was just like, oh, you're telling me you killed someone and I'm just going to hold your hand and like make love to you. Like the fuck? I thought you were supposed to be smart. Whatever.
And after everything she's been through with her family, I would assume
exactly. I would expect you to have some common sense, but I guess not.
That's trauma bonding.
Too much to ask for.
I think another issue I had was that Michael Myers just was not Michael Myers. He became this like Pennywise wannabe where he's in the fucking sewers. And like, I did not understand that concept at all. Or like how the fuck, I know originally they retconned all these films before. And so just the original and then the 2018 and then Halloween Kills and this one are canon. So we never technically get an explanation as to what Michael Myers' powers are. So then how the fuck does he just grab Corey and like see his life flash before him? And then like now Corey's like fucking possessed or some shit. Like he just changes from this actually interesting character to a cliche prodigy kind of like, oh, I want to follow in your footsteps, even though that was never really established in the first. It just felt very weird and just like they were trying to come up with it up on the spot.
Yeah, it really did.
I think also I know last episode I talked about how the gore was like good, but I felt like this one was over the top. Like this one was like, I felt like leave it to Saw and Final Destination. Leave the gore to them. You're a slasher film. Like I know slasher films are kind of supposed to be like, but like the tongue scene with the radio guy, that felt so excessive.
It felt forced.
It really did. Like it wasn't like there's certain films where it's acceptable.
The effect they had on it wasn't even that good.
Mm-hmm. I felt like it was like an 80s film.
Yeah, like all of a sudden his teeth were smashed. No.
Also, I know how you feel about the fluorescent lady, the fluorescent light lady. Lewis.
Yeah, how did you feel when she came back out of nowhere?
Did she survive? I was like, I saw her. I was like, wait a minute, that's the same bitch. How the fuck?
I saw a tweet that said the biggest plot twist in this entire movie was that she survived.
She we watched her fucking die. And it wasn't like the cops were coming when we saw her. Like no one called for help. Anyways, that's pretty much all I had written down because just overall the film was just not good. I thought the last one was bad, but
there's a lot of articles right now being like, maybe we treated Halloween Kills too harshly.
Yeah. See, I rated Halloween Kills, I think, the best out of all of them, though.
That is true. Yeah.
I did have a much higher rating than you guys. So you know what? I was just ahead of the trends, ahead of the times.
Ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm. Bam. That's my rating. We have to
do our tier list.
Yes.
Tier list time.
Yes.
Tier list time. And then we could ski fucking daddle. Okay, so for those who don't understand what the fuck we're about to do, we're making a tier list of our ratings of the 4 films from best to worst. So we'll start with Halloween, the original. I think that as iconic as it is pretty fucking bad.
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
I'd say it's like, put it at an A. Like I'd put it in second place.
Really? I would put it as B.
Compared to the other 3?
I mean, compared to the other 3, obviously, but nothing on here is gonna go above like B or A, in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing: we only have 4, so something's got to be in first place.
No.
All right. Let's go to 2018. Is 2018 better than the original?
No.
Even though it was gorier and was more modern, it made more sense. Like there was obviously more time and thought process.
I honestly don't remember it that much. I think it was just that forgettable. So,
damn,
it's up to you guys. I'll let you guys take the wheel.
Where do you want to put it? Where do you want to put it if you had choice?
2018. I would put it. You know what? We'll make 78 an A tier. We'll put 2018 as the B tier. Even though, and then Halloween Kills gets what?
A.
C?
I mean,
A. And hell no.
Out of all 4 of them, it's the best one. Come on.
No,
I would think 2018.
The firefighter scene.
Out of all 4 of them, it's just gory. That's pretty much all it is.
Yeah, that's why Beth's like the opening to Halloween Kills is the best part, but then after that, it kind of drops off after that opening scene. So I feel like the rest of the movie is just
Here's the thing. With Halloween 2018, you have this annoying like high school fucking bullshit that you got to deal with. With Halloween Kills, however, we're actually seeing like the original characters grown up, how it impacted them. And that's about it, honestly.
Yeah, you ain't got much there. If I hear Evil Dies Tonight one more time, I'm gonna lose my mind.
So well then where do you guys want to put it at?
I would at the most put it as a C tier.
I would put it as C tier.
If I would give it that.
You're gonna put that below the others.
Yes.
Because you do realize with this rating that you're making Halloween Ends A tier, right?
No, I'm making Halloween Ends the F tier.
No, well then that means the original Halloween is top tier.
Nope.
In this case, yeah.
I say the original Halloween is A. All right, we'll give it that.
The original Halloween.
The original Halloween. Halloween 2018. I will let you guys say it is less than Halloween. I think it's either on level or better. But that's just me. Halloween Kills is definitely below the next one. Like it's not that good. And then all the way at the bottom, and we'll put Beyond Trash as another tier. Will be Halloween Ends.
You know, I 100% disagree with this entire thing, but I don't care. It's fine. Okay, so our official rating then. Go ahead. What is it?
In A tier, we have the original 1978 Halloween. In B tier, we have Halloween 2018. In C tier, Halloween Kills. And then all the way down to F, which I will now rename Beyond Trash, is Halloween Ends.
We're retconning it as of right now.
Yeah, what do you call it? As far as we know, Evil did not die that night, and it still continues to live.
All right. Well, do you guys have anything else you want to add?
No.
To this shit post? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for listening to today's episode. Also, thank you to everyone who has supported us this season. We hope you enjoyed it. And next week is our listeners episode. So be sure to check it out and see if your film has been featured. If you do have a movie suggestion and you haven't emailed it to us already, feel free to shoot us an email at silverscreensips@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on our socials at Silver Screen Sips, and Twitter at Silver Screen Sip with no S. Also, we will be posting our poll for season 6 next week. So be on the lookout for that so you can cast your votes. The 2 options are going to be James Bond, the Daniel Craig version, and the Planet of the Apes, the Caesar trilogy. So we will see you in next week's listeners episode.
Go vote.
Vote.
We should have
Bye.
like I voted stickers, but
So
like for
please
us.
decide.
That would be so good.
Add it to the shop.
Idea board. Where are you?